Yeah, so what is really weird is that I frighten the white women in my neighborhood. So I'll be walking outside and I'll go to turn the corner and then there'll be a woman there and she'll be like, and then she'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, it wasn't you, it was your hair.
What is it about the hair? I mean, it's luscious, it's all there, but for some reason, is it an indirect signal of if you let it down, there's a certain signal? Or there's almost an assumption that you're a naughty girl, isn't there? So as beautiful as the hair is, it can't be accentuated almost. It's like it must be tied up and in a specific way and at a specific time. And, you know, there's certain behaviours around the moonlight.
In Samoa, your hair, flowing, waving and weaving, becomes alive with magic in the moonlight. The Tenesa, spirit goddesses of the underworld, don't take kindly to those long-haired beauties entering their domain. Telesa and Somayafe have seductive magic in their locks that can possess the men of their desires and can punish those that try and tempt with their long-haired loveliness. Arising from the spirit world, Telesa watches for those that let down their hair at night, that comb their locks in the moonlight. That swim with the red flowers, that float in the fullness of the moon with their long hair flowing. You with your hair out wild and free may catch the eye of these aiku, and you may become entangled in demon desires, and your crowning glory may lead to your demise. The stories are many who have been cursed by these aiku. Beware the power of your hair, and beware the flaunting of it, lest the fury of the Tenesa is invoked.
All these stories told by aunties from one generation to another. And so it's ingrained in you to practice certain rituals. So you're automatically, you know, covering the mirrors. You're automatically tying your hair up, or any signal that you're a sexual, womanly being. You have to confine everything for some reason. God forbid that you would want to have a relationship, find a boyfriend. So make yourself dowdy, tie it up. It's almost like Telesa has come in and she's being used as the indirect excuse for girls to be prim and proper. And their hair, well, the hair, what can you not say about that? It's as if to say, the hair is luscious and it's beautiful, but don't have it out because that'll just signify your womanness, the fierceness of you.
For the Fijian girls, as soon as they reach the age of 11 and 12, when they're about to, to become a woman, the mother start to dress the hair. Usually when the girls have their hair all shaven off, it's only a portion that is left. and that's the tombe or the ringlets that are being braided over a long period of time. And the tombe is nurtured and looked after, and that's the mother's role. And that's the beauty of it, that there's that mother-daughter relationship. The virgin lock is kind of a signal to other maybe groom-to-be and their family that this is a girl who's still a virgin. And the locks, that's the mark of it. Usually the cutting of the hair is kind of signifies that she is. And in most cases, the husband cuts the hair. So that's kind of a big celebration for the bride's family. In the olden days, it's taken very, very seriously. Today, some mothers are trying to bring it back, and I really admire them, their bravery to be able to face those kind of mockery and comments, but they just look so beautiful. Fijian girls with tombe, they're just gorgeous.
Hair for women was kept very short. It was the men who had the long hair. So they'd crush up the coral, which would produce a lime-based sort of substance, and that's what they would bleach the hair down with. So they were bleached, they were asymmetric, they were just incredible. And because the hair just stayed like that, and I suppose because the head is, so tapu, and it was such a sacred space, and the hair was an extension of that. So a lot of the hair adornments were incredible, that the Tahitians and were weaving, and the Hawaiians, these intricate square eight plaits out of hair, and they were meters and meters long. And as somebody who's tried to do that, it's like weaving eels. I mean, we just don't have access to a lot of those materials now. Deforestation, overfishing, and a lot of the materials were taboo for the ordinary person. If you weren't in that caste, then you weren't even allowed to own one. They would kill you. If an ordinary person had a whale's tooth, you had to hand it over to the chosen ones. And a lot of these beautiful materials were actually considered, a part of our genealogy. The shark, the whale, the turtle.
Each hair or follicle on your head is believed to be a descent line to your ancestors. It's a sacred part of the body. And that's where someone's power, someone's place in society was really held, right there. Mana was in their head. One of the times when you'll see Tongan women have their hair down and unkept is during mourning or at funerals. It becomes a sign of mourning to let your hair down for women, and it's particularly those of lower status to the person who's passed. They're leongi. They are leongi. And so their status or their rank in relation to the person is expressed through hair, but also through this very oversized mat that they wear that's frayed, a tauvala. So the hair becomes a symbol of the woman being so bereft, so sad that she's not worrying about her appearance. And that action for me is about communicating how much you have a respect for that family member. What you adorn is a statement about you, your place in society, your place in family. And so materials become a language. So things like helu that are worn in their hair, and the way that they're adorned with beads, but also any kind of headdress. I think of the mahiole in Hawaii. These beautiful crescent headdresses say something about that person. The colours that are on them, red and yellow, are sacred colours. When they see hair, in necklaces, you know, hair that's been cut and fashioned into something else. That for us is still dealing with the same association with the head that's come from someone's head and has been fashioned for you to wear. So you're carrying not only your own mana, but somebody else's. So the hair then becomes that messenger. It tells people of your place, of your rank in your society.
The belief is that the mana of the ancestors are carried by the person who wears the tuinga. That's why true tuingas are not just used by anyone. They're always used by people that are related to that headpiece. The original tuingas, the old tuingas that I've seen, they were like in 4 or 5 pieces. The ones that you see nowadays is just a one piece that just gets slotted onto the head. But those ones were 5 pieces of material or siapo that was woven into the hair, tightly fitting the scalp. So it was very hard going to wear them. And of course, you know, it's all upright as well. So there's an element of balance. You had to be graceful.
We like the beauty queen look. Long, not too bushy. It's funny because in Tahiti they have that look where it goes out and they're quite proud of that. Here it seems to be a little bit of mix of the cultures, so it's a little flowy, you know, sun-kissed kind of look. Basically, if there were 10 girls that were going to perform and there were 11 contestants, I'd say the one with the shorter hair would be out. Yeah, well, I guess it goes back to the mums, because my mum would always be like, don't cut your hair, and should, you know, threaten them. If anything, it was always 2 things for myself personally, hair and tattoos, so like, do not touch either. But yeah, no, we used to, if we've got a big performance on and we need everyone to kind of look the same. So I think in terms of looking for the best performers, the tour leaders are looking at the hairs as well without actually saying it.
The hair of a woman, that is her crowning glory. The hair will be designed depending on the headpiece. We really like to keep everything as traditional as possible. So this, the wild hibiscus fibre, what we call kirio, we prepare that earlier in the year in preparation to Mai Nui. We collect seeds like this, which is from the puka tree. These seeds as well, which you find up paka vines up in the mountains, so we go up in the mountains and we collect these. We try to prepare and collect the items that we can find locally and use as much of those as possible if they fit the theme.
So in Tahiti, for performance, you want to go for the big natural hair. You want that big bushy hair, puffy and really, really strong. It'll normally take a few days. You'll get your cousins, anyone to help you out, do all the little braids, like the African braids. So you see, when you're walking in the street and you see all the girls with braids, you know they're about to dance. So you wear your braids for a few days before the show. So by the time you take them out and you brush them out, you get the big bushy hair. And it just adds something to the show. It's beautiful, yeah. Most Polynesian women, anyway, were born with the big hair. That's the natural That's what's in your genes. If you look at old school photos, every woman has big hair, and it's beautiful. And because there's been a lot of mixes in Tahiti in particular, we tend to have finer hair, so it's a good way to recreate that. Yes, there's a lot of mixes. Yes, I'm not brown, but this is my way of showing I am Tahitian and I'm proud of it. So obviously you'll have your design team responsible for the costumes. It's just amazing. They looked at the shape of the band, the shape of the head, and so they used all the flowers, everything. They went for height, and the things that they do is just amazing. They're big groups, so you need a lot of it. If you, as a dancer, join the group, your family is joining with you, so you have everyone going out, finding the material, bringing everything together. The whole group is there. Moms, cousins, whoever wants to help out. And we're all on the floor working on this costume together. It's very family things, and you learn how to make them, how to work the material. There's a lot of pride. I mean, when you wear your costume, you also help make it, and it's very, yeah, I don't know, it's great. It's a great feeling.
We revere anyone who is higher than us, and we use the head and body analogy for almost every relationship we have inside the home. For example, the chief is the head of the household, and we revere him that way. The way that Ashley Fanuf and his team in Nandi have put this together using mother of pearl and some freshwater pearls and the voi voi, which we use to make mats, is to kind of make beautiful that dark part of our history. All of those clubs on her head were used to kill people. That was used specifically to crack a person's skull. That one was used specifically to slice it. This is used to choke you that way. And this is a cannibal's fork. We used it to access your brain to eat. Seriously, I'm not making that up at all.
The minute I cut my hair, just like many things occurred to me that didn't when I was cutting it. So things like Polyfest, I couldn't be in the Tongan group anymore, but it was just impractical now. Like, how are you supposed to put in your headpiece to deki if you don't have hair to hold it up? When you look at it, you have girl, beautiful long hair, short hair. She didn't fit in terms of, of that thing of beauty that's associated with Daulunga. And it was true. I was in Tongan group all of high school, and we would do these particular buns that were rolled and pinned. They were just, and I loved them. There's no rollers, which I think is quite amazing. It's just hair that's rolled into little rolls, and they're done in kind of rows. So what you actually get is a bun that's made of tons of rolls of hair, and it took ages to put it in, 1 million bobby pins. But for the rest of Polyfest, I walked around with my bunny all over Polyfest. It was just this real statement of I was in the Tongan group. I was still, although I was in uniform, sporting this beautiful do that only lasted a day.
So my father's tuinga that I made for him for his sawhai, I've used my hair and that of my 3 daughters. So this becomes a family piece to be passed on. It takes me back to going back into battle, and you've always got your family with you. And that's the significance of using your own family here in the tuinga. Wearing this tuinga, I feel like the leader that my father is in his family, and that's who I am wherever I am. The Pacific adornments are important to us because it shows people who you are. I remember my parents, they always have that saying, "I loa o le sa moelo kumalo sa barimalo kaukala." People being outside of their homelands, sometimes you have lost the language, and I think with the adornments, for me, it makes me feel powerful that I can represent myself in that first 5 seconds. And they go, "Oh, so you're from," and before they finish, Samoa. It connects you. There's a common thread behind all our adornments. And one of the threads was that it all came through women.
I've always reacted to the dusky maiden, and also coming from a fashion background too. Growing up with a different beauty aesthetic, you know, where beauty could be bigger, it was definitely broader. There was just so many different aspects to it, and also the whole devaluation of our materials. I actually find shark's teeth and pig's tusks to be beautiful, powerful messages. Whereas a lot of people go, you know, I don't make costuming, I don't make jewellery. I make things that connect my history, my genealogy, my geography into the present, into the now.
Being the only Pacific Islander in the classroom and being surrounded by white children, that's when I started noticing the different textures in hair, and then, you know, noticing that there are white girls with blonde wavy hair and straight hair, and I was always fascinated by that difference in texture, but it never really seemed to bother me. Like, I was still happy with my kind of hair, and it wasn't until I went into the modelling industry that I felt like I needed to change it. I remember just, you know, always being a problem when I went on shoots or on fashion shows, that the hairdresser or the makeup artist always said, well, what are we supposed to do with this kind of hair? You know, this is really big, do we straighten it? And so I'll turn up on jobs and then they'll try and straighten my hair, and they'll underestimate how long it would take. It would take 2 or 3 hours, and then they'll come down on me for having like really big hair that was difficult. And to me, it was like, what do? Do I accept my hair or what? So I went through a number of years where I would chemically straighten my hair, and so it was like softer and wavier and more easier for them to deal with. And that just damaged my hair so much. To have hair like mine, I can be expected to have had a lot of people come up and just touch my hair. Strangers just coming up and invading my private space. I'm like, wait, are you thinking of touching my hair? Because don't do it, I'll bite your hand.
You die if I deny you. I know you've been waiting. Isa, Isa, pulang
Well, many years ago, I grew up with a little F, but one of those bone-in-your-nose Fs. It was really tight. I used to be called Michael Jackson, and I used to be so ashamed. And then I started bleaching my hair and straightening it and relaxing it. And we all know that if you're an island girl and you relax your hair in the sun, it goes like this. When I started doing music, my afro was really special to me because EJ Strickson, she was encouraging me to have my natural hair out, not to straighten it, not to relax it, and I told her, no, beep, beep. One day for Wonderful, my track Wonderful many years ago, I thought I was going in to get it straightened. And I came out and it was this massive afro, and I was crying, and I felt so ashamed to look like a Bulla Fijian. And she just spoke to me, and she was telling me to be proud of my hair, to be proud of my natural hair, to rock it, have your own swag.
I want you just the
that's why my hair is special to me. But I don't mind if it gets shaved off because it's just hair, it grows back.
My name is Daisha. I am Black American Samoan, and I love my hair because it's blonde, short and curly. There's not a lot of people with Negro hair in New Zealand. I love that not only boys can rock short hair.
It's a lot louder than I am. I'm actually a very quiet person, so it does a lot of speaking for me, I guess. It's big, I get to hide behind it. I'm actually not that great with being out in the public. And my hair, oh my gosh, I've only just started to accept that it is what it is. So yeah, it's kind of like a type of mask.
The thing with Tongan girls' hair is it's thick like horsehair is the only way I can describe it. So I think from an early age I kind of thought I'd be prettier if I had straight hair. I used to tie my hair up into a bob and have it up here and imagine what I would look like as a straight balangi kind of style bob. So I think I was on my knees praying every day and for the ceramic hair straightener to be invented, and when it came along when I was 13 I was like, praise the Lord, because I was using the ironing board for ages, and thank God for my brothers who helped me out. We would lie my hair down flat and my head would be on the edge of the ironing board, and my brother would hold it down and he'd be like, okay, pull, and then I'd like pull my hair for ages until it gets to the end, and that was the only way we could straighten it.
When you dance, having long hair is the best thing you can do. It follows the movements, it just enhances the performance. You play with it a lot, it brushes against you, it adds that wild side, that animal, like a mane, a little bit like a mane, yeah. It's just, it follows the movement, it dances with you, it's in your face, you notice it, you play with it.
I went to visit my grandmother, and my grandmother loved it. My hair was in braids, and she cut some of her hair and she twisted it into my hair. And then my grandmother passed away, so I didn't want to cut my hair. Each of my children, when they cut their hair, I added it. And now their children, my grandchildren, I've got their hair also in my hair. The novelty is 20-something years ago, I think it was only Mr. Marley who had dreads that I knew about.
I'm repping for the Chinese Samoan sisters with straight, thick, beautiful hair, unlike my two other sisters who have mini noodles hair. Every day at school I would just have braids. My hair would be pulled by every woman in my family just in an effort to make it stay in place. My aunties and my mum would make all these noises and grunt when they're doing my hair like it was an issue. But then when we'd go out, everyone would say, oh, your daughter has such beautiful hair. Look how thick and straight it is. Oh, not like your other two daughters.
I'm like, ah, man, it grows. It grows, it has its own mind, and I just allow it. It's hard to describe. People of other cultures constantly ask me about my hair, which I find so weird, because we live in Aotearoa that has everybody, and I don't look at myself as something different, but on a daily, I'm constantly asked about my hair. With all the mixed blood, it's created this most amazing pool of people, and from that has come people like myself with hair like mine.
I grew up in Samoa, so having very curly hair at a local primary school was quite difficult, so I did get mocked. I was called Ulfe, which was octopus head. To this day, that box still lives.
It's probably the only physical aspect or physical trait that I have that is Tahitian, that looks Polynesian. Yeah, I'm really white. So.
You use your brother's dacks to make it all straight at the roots. The Palangi girls and everybody else's hair flowing and L'Oreal, but you've got your ironing straight dacks here like this. It's humid and dacks is going down your face, so it was actually the curse of my life.
I have people that come up and actually physically sort of pull it like this. It's like, if you could just get your big fat pork chop fingers off my head. Or at the movies, and people behind me would say, lady, can you just take off your hat? And it's like, okay. And when I used to go to the prison for visits, sorry to my friends in prison, the guards would check it. I'm not sure, what you thought I could hide in there. Would unravel it coming through the airport. And then if I go swimming in Samoa, I cleared the beach because they thought it was an octopus.
So when I was younger, my mum would braid my hair every single day without fail. So I said to her, Mum, why can't I just have a ponytail like my sisters? She said, Crystal, you know what those palangis are gonna say? They're gonna say those island girls give them the ukus, but your hair gets braided every single day, and that's how I know you don't have ukus. So if you come home and your braids have fallen out again, you're gonna get it. I just have to rep my Asian, Polynesian sisters out there, and we're just as Polynesian as they are. Our hair is just different. Okay.
It just bees, and it's hair.